Hi, I'm Gabe Teran, and I am going to be talking to you real quickly about the June 29th, 2021 Oxnard City Council meeting. And first of all, my apologies for missing the last couple of meetings to do these kinds of videos. There was one week where I was sick, but then it's the end of the fiscal year for my regular full-time day job. And so I've really been focusing on closing out the year and haven't had a whole lot of time to do these updates beyond just like keeping myself updated on it. So I'm really happy to be able to be talking about the last meeting of this fiscal year for the Oxnard City Council. All right, so real quickly, first there's 4 active cases that are currently in litigation that will be discussed in closed session. Then the city manager's report portion, there will be the typical update on COVID-19 and what's been going on with the city, but there will also be a resolution that we'll be looking at that, if passed by the city council, will rescind the order that happened during the pandemic that held off on penalties for late renewals and applications for business tax certificates, that didn't allow the termination of utility services for non-payment, penalties for utility services, and then requirements from contractors about holding a valid city business tax certificate in order to get a building permit in the city of Oxnard. So if council moves forward with this action, it will rescind that order and it will bring these items back into play. There's also under this portion a resolution that's being asked for by the police department, and they're seeking support for Senate Bill 277. And the idea behind that one is looking at illegal fireworks in the state of California, and therefore municipalities and counties as well. I don't know if y'all heard, but there's fireworks going off quite a bit in the city of Oxnard and cities all across the state and the nation, but just throwing that out there. All right, so there's a lot of items on the info consent agenda, and so I'll go through some of them quickly, but I'm going to spend a little bit of time on a couple of them. First and foremost, we have minutes to approve from the December 15th, 2020 meeting. Then there's going to be an amendment to the agreement with Axon International, who provides a number of services for the city's police department. And the finance department, we're looking at delegation of investment authority to the city treasurer, and this is an annual routine item. We're looking at the purchase of liability and property insurance for the next fiscal year. There's another agreement an amendment to the agreement with Mercy House, who does the shelter and navigation center operations. And this is an increase of $2.6 million, but that is fully grant funded. If you'd like to find out information about those grants, it's a really interesting read if you want to check out the staff report on that. The housing department also has another item where we're looking at a resolution to approve a levy for the collection of assessments for the downtown Oxnard property business owners in the Oxnard Property Business Improvement District. Police department's looking to purchase 84 portable handheld emergency radios at $375,000. If you want the details on that, that is also in the staff report. And then Cultural and Community Services Department is looking to renew their contract with the Swinemee School District. And this is going to be for the next 3 fiscal years if approved, to the tune of $3.1 million. All right, so here's the first of 2 that I wanted to talk about a little bit more. And this is 3 separate agreements with 1 contractor. So 3 agreements with Garcia's tree maintenance services. And the idea behind this is that we have all of these trees in our arterial streets, in our medians and parkways that need to be trimmed. So this will be through this next fiscal year for $566,000. It already went to the Public Works and Transportation Committee and it was approved 3-0. And as I mentioned, this will be along arterial roads. There are 3 regions that the city's been broken up to, which I'll show you in a second. It's anticipated this will take about 6 months to complete. And this is fully funded from the general fund through Measure E funds in the next fiscal year. So when I say 3 regions, you can see here, I know the color is a little bit light. My apologies on that, but region 1 is kind of like North Oxnard, Region 2 is Central Oxnard, Region 3 is South Oxnard. And if you look at the staff report, you'll see that all three of these regions are being done simultaneously. It's not like they're doing one then the other, they're doing them in numerical order. They're all going to be done simultaneously by different crews. And this is to ensure that it's done efficiently, but it's also done in an equitable way. And so it's all split up there. They're going to be doing all the arterial, median, and parkway trees, regardless of size. They have to do the pruning to industry standards. No more than 25% of the foliage will be removed at a time. And the work time is no earlier than 7 a.m., no later than 5 p.m., and no earlier than 8 a.m. start times when they're doing trees that are next to a residential area. All right, the next one, this one has a few moving parts to it. So, oh, excuse me, no, not yet. This one has 4 agreements now for one contractor, Mariposa Landscapes. And this is weekly mowing in 33 parks for the next 3 fiscal years to the tune of $2.4 million. The city's been split into 4 different regions for this. This will all be coming from the general fund through Measure E starting next fiscal year. And Public Works and Transportation Committee already approved this 3-0. And I know this is a little tough to see, but when they say 4 regions, you can see that it's split up literally into 4 different regions with North Oxnard and then like a Central East Oxnard and kind of like a West Oxnard and then South Oxnard. And you can see those maps more in detail in the staff report. So also on the info consent agenda, the fire department is looking for some chest compression systems. The HR department is going to be doing delegations for these particular retirement plans, which is already approved by the Finance and Governance Committee. And then the finance department will be looking at initial repayment of $5 million from this fiscal year, the one we're currently in that's ending in just a couple of days on June 30th. So $5 million transfer back to the utility enterprise funds as a result of the judgment on the infrastructure use fee case that you might have heard about or seen in the newspaper recently. So the city will have to repay about $36.5 million. The judge granted 3 years to do so. And this is the first $5 million payment that'll be coming out of this fiscal year. All right, so into the report section, we have here a couple of items. First is one that I had sent forward to the city manager looking for some additional details and review of several weeks back. And really what it is the annual levy of the for Community Facilities District number 5 or River Park for the upcoming fiscal year that starts July 1. So instead of an increase in their assessment this year, they are now having a decrease. All right, so if approved by the City Council, that's what's going to happen for the River Park CFD. And then also we will have the adoption, if approved by council, of the 2021-2022 fiscal year operating and capital improvement budgets. We had discussion about that at the previous meeting. There's still the ability for folks to email council members, call council members, or speak at the meeting with your thoughts on the budget. And then finally, we have a report from Public Works Department. And this is the one that is a it's multiple pieces to this one. And this is monthly median landscape services through June 30th, 2024. So the next 3 fiscal years. All right. So this is 2 agreements for Garcia's landscaping and then 1 agreement for Mariposa Landscapes. And what's going on here, remember earlier for the tree pruning, Garcia got the contract for 3 regions. Well, these are the same 3 regions, but for the landscaping itself. And so you can see there that it'll be region 1 and 3 Garcia, region 2 Mariposa. That's the recommendation of staff based on the bids that were put in. And we'll see how the council decides to vote on that. This one is also coming fully from Measure E, starting in the next fiscal year. And this is essentially the same map, but you can see how the city is split into different regions. And there are zoomed in maps for each of the different parts of those regions. I encourage folks to take a look at that to see where your neighborhood or areas that you frequent might fall into this, this process. So if you get a chance, take a look. All right, so with that, that's the end of the review for this upcoming city council agenda. And it's the last one of the year. It's going to be a long meeting, which is just fine with me. There's a lot of great stuff that's coming up for review. We'll see how the council votes on it. I look forward to hearing what the public has to say as well. Thank you very much for checking this out. I hope that you'll take the opportunity to like, share, subscribe my videos, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks a lot.